As an Agua Dulce Civic Association member, do you affirm to serve the residents of the area and uphold community ideals? Do you pledge to be responsible, forthright, dedicated, and an honest member of the Agua Dulce Civic Association, listening to all community ideas and concerns?
I do.
Last one, guys. As Los Angeles County Supervisor Barger's Assistant Field Deputy for the Santa Clarita Valley, I hereby charge you to uphold the principle and the spirit of the words you just spoke. Congratulations.
Thank you.
4-H is here doing a presentation at the picnic on the porch.
Another kid was in the ring with me. He lost.
Wait. What? Motivation one I have?
Hi, Elsie.
Lee, Jenny.
You just love saying my name.
Lee is going to introduce our scholarship recipient.
Hello, is everybody full? Oh, yeah, okay. We have 2 scholarship recipients, but the other one is a trip. Danielle Rubin. We gave her a $1,000 scholarship, as well as our other recipient that is in there eating her face still. So did everybody get plenty of food? Celeste kept pestering me to get up here, but I told her I have not had dessert yet. Don't mess with me unless I've had my dessert. Alex, are you coming? So, how about those Lakers? Phil, her parents have lived in Agua Dulce for quite some time. They're very active. She's better known as Alex, and she attended Saugus High School, where she had a 4.67 GPA. I mean, that's ridiculous. Alex received top academic English award in her freshman year. In her junior year, she received the CAPR award for Chinese language. She was also in the National Honor Society for 3 years. She played volleyball all 4 years, and along with that, she was in the Science Olympiad all 4 years, and in her senior year as president. If that wasn't enough, she joined the Saugus Key Club, Math Tutor Club, American Cancer Society's Relay for Life, Project Linus, where they sew baby blankets, and the local astronomy club. As far as work experience is concerned, Alex coached for the city of Santa Clarita youth volleyball camps and had a summer internship with a NASA employee. I don't know about you, but I just made it through school. I didn't do all this stuff. I certainly didn't have a 4.67 grade point average. She evidently was busy all the time. Alex, come up here. Alex will be attending Caltech, where she will be studying physics. What a shock. Here's Alex.
Your involvement in the Agua Dulce Civic Association and your role in raising this money. I'm extremely grateful for this scholarship because attending college would be quite difficult without generosity like yours. She asked me to say a little about myself and my future goals. So I recently graduated valedictorian from Saugus High School, and I will be attending the California Institute of Technology this fall, as both a student and as an athlete on the volleyball team. I intend on earning a bachelor's degree in physics and then continuing my education in grad school to earn a PhD in astrophysics. From there, my dream is to work as a research scientist at a university or an organization like NASA. I am so grateful for this scholarship because it allows me to follow the dreams I've had ever since I was a little kid. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
The Pioneer family, the family of the year, and our Grand Marshal. And to do that, I have asked Sarah Brewer to read all their bios.
Because I don't know how to say no to anything.
I know. I'm Lee Jennings in training. Hi, everybody. She knows it's true. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. This is just such a great event that I've been coming to since I don't even remember. I remember being here my whole life. It's gotten a little smaller over the years. It used to be a big raging thing, but it's so great that you guys are here and allow this to continue happening, and we'll do it as long as we possibly can. So I think you guys probably agree. It's just a really sweet little evening, always on a beautiful summer night. You can never say no to good food and good friends, and making fun of some of our friends and neighbors that we lure here and embarrass, which is my favorite part. So speaking of, we're going to ask two lovely people to come up because this is one of the categories that we recognize every year, and this is for Pioneer Family of the Year. So this is for families who have been here for at least 25 years, but we usually find ones that have given many decades of their life to live in this beautiful place and give back to our community. So I'd love to introduce Juan and Claudia. Pull them up here. He's usually behind the scenes, so. Yeah, if you guys are drinking the red, that's from this guy. Oh, well, you can't be cute and smart. All right, guys, so not only to share in each other's home lives, but also their professional ones. Although the family has been involved with various groups and organizations over the years, the Alonsos are no doubt best known for their iconic family business, the historic and beautiful Le Chien French restaurant. Juan first leased Le Chien from Sandy Lang's family in 1981 when it was in great need of care. Initially, he thought about keeping it as a beer bar with a small dining menu, but after further thought, he decided that with his skills as a chef and with a little bit of love, it could be built into something very special. The history surrounding Le Chien goes back to the turn of the century, as the town of Agua Dulce was being born. In June 1915, the Dodrell family bought a parcel of land from a Mr. Seeley who had homesteaded 160 acres there in 1912. From there, the Dodrells built a roadside gas station, which first opened for business in 1917. It started as a simple wooden building with a tar-papered roof and with just one gasoline pump out front. The Dodrells positioned the building right next to a majestic oak tree and called their new enterprise the Oaks Garage. At the base of this oak, they built an outdoor refreshment stand. In addition to selling gasoline and motor oil to passing motorists, the garage provided automotive repairs as well. Over the years, the outdoor counter was enclosed and eventually became the Oaks Cafe. As it was for everyday passers-by, the Oaks also became a destination for many high movie stars of the day. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans used to come by in their Jeep to fill up with gas. William Boyd, aka Hopalong Cassidy, visited with his crew when they were shooting movies at Vasquez Rocks. Hoppy even used to help out in the kitchen when needed. Jane Wyman would sit in the cafe and study her scripts, and even Mickey Cohen, the crime boss, was also said to have conducted business while dining at the Oaks. Only the best for Agua Dulce right there. During its long life, the Old Oaks has changed hands several times over the years. In 1971, the Oaks received widespread attention for its feature in a young Steven Spielberg's film, Duel, now a cult classic, which helped launch the director's career. Around 1979, Sandy Moore Lang, as you guys know him, Dick Lang's lovely wife, purchased the property. It was at that time called the Castle Oaks, and Juan leased the building in 1980 before purchasing it the following year. In September of 1980, after much love and hard work, he rebranded the Old Oaks with a new name in French, honoring both the business's history as well as his heritage. Le Chien, after all, is the oak in French. Step by step, Juan rebuilt and expanded the old garage, reinforcing the historic structure and expanding it for various uses. Juan recalls that one of his best and most proud memories is the success of the business when many thought it would fail. After all, who knew that a small, dusty town without a stoplight would be a great destination for sophisticated French cuisine and a beautiful winery? Decades later, Le Chien remains a community favorite as anywhere from a nice weeknight out or to a beautiful garden wedding. Looking forward, the Alonsos would love for the future generations of Agua Dulce to know the evolution of their community from the earliest inhabitants thousands of years ago to the hardy homesteaders who built the town from nothing. When asked about what they would like to see for the future of Agua Dulce, Juan notes that he would like to see the rural life perpetuated. He says, "The Agua Dulce has been a beautiful place to live, and I love the community. To be in the countryside so close to one of the largest metropolises in the world is pretty amazing. We are grateful for the decades of friendship, pride in community, historic preservation, and civic support that the Alonzos have provided, and are honored for them to serve among the many wonderful pioneers that have come before them."
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sarah. It was beautiful. You made me cry.
The Agua Dulce Civic Association to present the Higdon family as Family of the Year for 2018. Austin and Nicole Higdon, with their daughter Madeline, their son Dylan, have quickly become an integral part of Agua Dulce community since their arrival from Santa Clarita in 2015. Austin and Nicole love that they can raise their children in an area that has land, nature, friendly people, and open space. Seeing our horses in our yard, being able to ride past beautiful wineries, watching the local planes fly overhead, hiking around Vasquez Rocks with the kids. It's all wonderful. We both feel blessed to live here, Nicole says. Nicole had an interest and a passion for moving out to the area since she first discovered it in 1996 when she would trailer her horse to the Acton Gymkhana. She fell in love with the small community, the beautiful scenery then, and never forgot that love. She recalls, "I would tell my horse Angel that one day she'd live on my property and no longer be boarded. And I'm happy to say," she adds, "I still have the same horse and she loves being spoiled at my home." The Higdons have certainly embraced life in Agua Dulce, hitting the ground running in terms of community service and involvement, giving back to the community and being a kind and supportive friend and neighbor. This is important to this enthusiastic young family. While Austin works long, hard hours in the motion picture industry, Nicole and the kids do more than their fair share of community outreach and participation. Nicole says, "I think it's important to be active in our community so my children have a greater sense of pride for where they live. I also think it's important to help in our community because I'm trying to instill the idea of giving back in my children. It's important that we do our best to lead by example. It's not always perfect, and finding balance is hard, but we try." The family has been part of the Agua Dulce Women's Club since they arrived here, and Nicole has served on the board for the last 2 years. Here she has volunteered hours of her time for various events, including taking on the challenge of chairing the annual rummage sale, which she notes was a hoot and gave her lasting memories. Was a hoot, huh? Okay. Hot, how about that? Hot hoot. This year, she was also co-chair of the EPO, which was the Albert Einstein Academy's Parent-Teacher Association. The family has been part of a large group of passionate community members working to keep an elementary school here in Agua Dulce. She has offered to be a founding board member for the new charter school I lead, which will be taking on the old Agua Dulce school campus and bringing it to life once more. Dylan is also an active member of the school community, attending Albert Einstein Academy and enjoying playing baseball with Sierra Youth Sports. Is that fun? Rounding out the family is young Maddie, who is now proudly serving as Tiny Miss Agua Dulce 2018, which Nicole notes has already been a wonderfully fun experience. And the Royal Court really enjoys having little Miss Maddie. She keeps us giggling and on our toes. Giggling! In the 3 years they've lived here, the Higdons have made many wonderful memories so far. Coming from a small condo in Santa Clarita to the open space of Agua Dulce has allowed the family to host their children's birthday parties, to gather with friends and families, for which Nicole has been a tremendous blessing. Additionally, making friends through organizations. And when describing our beloved small town to a friend or a family member, oops, I missed a page, excuse me, I'm reading someone else's. Wonderful memories. Nicole notes that watching her daughter become Tiny Miss, her dad's band playing at the country fair, her husband building elaborate floats for the school in the Royal Court have given them memories to cherish. but also traditions to look forward to being part of every year. I think that's what's unique about living here. You feel like you're part of something special, Nicole says. And you know what? You are. That's one of the joys of being in Agua Dulce. It is special. In the future, the family sees themselves continuing to make their life here in Agua Dulce and hope that they will be a productive and helpful family in our community for as long as they can. They add that they're honored to be named Family of the Year this year, and they don't take that lightly. And thank you for this honor. They love Agua Dulce.
Love to present to you all your 2018 Grand Marshals for the Agua Dulce Parade. They're shaking their heads right now. I give you the Agua Dulce Hardware Porch Grumpies. Come here. You guys, they're old. They're old. They just need a few minutes. They probably forgot. Oh yeah. I'm thinking he's gonna get out of this. Oh yeah, Pat too.
Oh, Pat, come on.
Yeah.
Good old boys. Yeah. I'll just call it that because there's too many of them.
Just kidding. This is short. They're all never going to talk to me again. All right, everybody. I'm going to make this short and sweet, just like Bob. He didn't hear me, thank goodness. When describing our beloved small town to a friend or family member, think of how you describe it. You probably conjure images of the beautiful Vasquez Rocks, the wide open space, the scenic airport, and starry night skies. I can't even say this without laughing. But above all this, perhaps, is something even older and more iconic. The resident porch grumpies that have become a fixture in the center of our community. At first glance, this random gathering of men and women, all ages mixed in, seems like a bunch of extras pulled from a B-Western movie set. Collectively, however, they represent not only the heart of our town and those who have built it, but also the bravest of what our citizens have to offer. Ranging from academics to business owners to law enforcement and general troublemakers, Bob. This group of people has come to represent the spirit of our community. Those who came here to make their lives enchanted not only by the beauty of our landscape, but also the warmth and companionship of friends and neighbors. And aside from that, there's a surprisingly tough side to these curmudgeons. As with any successful, long-standing organization, there is a structure of leadership, which has led to the
Structure of leadership.
which I can't even look at them when I say this.
That's what she
Which has led
said.
to the longevity and exclusive nature of this club. Senior Grumpies in Chief, Bob Tester and Jim Jennings, have been counterbalanced with Sweeties in Chief, Bob Dingley and our beloved Eddie Varela. A mix of sweet and sour adds an element of surprise, meaning that you never know what you'll get as you approach the Porch Conference. Will you get lampooned by a flying donut? Perhaps. Interrogated about your political beliefs? Most likely. Given a big hug and a how the hell are you? Without a doubt. And yes, they are somewhat entitled to interrogate everyone stepping up onto the porch about what's abuzz in town. Collectively, between those four alone that I just listed, represent nearly 150 years of residency in this town. And that is true because I counted.
Wow.
That's not even counting Mark. He's third generation, so he's got extra points. With all jokes aside, the folks who gather on the porch have, in one way or another, given the greatest gifts through personal sacrifices made. Here alone sit veterans of all corners of our military, stretching from World War II to Vietnam and everything in between. On that porch sit those who are flying tigers, radar experts and bombers, and those who train recruits younger than they with great care and skill. Here sit those who protected the people in the city and county of LA behind a badge, whether it be police, sheriff, or fire. They've saved lives, protected freedom, and worked hard in the years since, raising families that they love and creating community ties that the sleepy little town won't soon forget. And with any group that spans the decades, there have been many who have departed but are still frequent topics of conversation. With fullest hearts, we remember and celebrate our departed porch regulars with the likes of Eddie Varela, Art Brewer, Dick Lang, Bill Perry, and the highlight from when I was a kid, Mr. Monty Montana. Each of these men, they're all like, oh, so sweet. See, they're so sweet. Each of these men who added warmth, humor, and style to the group. While we could go on forever about how we love these cadre group of locals, as Bob Tester would say, yelling, get on with it. As time marches on, few things are certain, but there's one thing that I do know, and that's as long as there is an Agua Dulce and a porch to sit under, there will be grumpies. And what a comforting thought that is. Here's to you, our fabulously grumpy friends.